The snow fell harder than the weather reports had predicted that December evening. David Mitchell stood at his kitchen window, watching the white curtain descend over the mountains surrounding his modest cabin. His daughter, Sarah, 15 and wise beyond her years, was finishing her homework at the wooden table their grandfather had built decades ago. "Dad, looks like we're going to be snowed in for a few days," Sarah said, glancing up from her chemistry textbook. Her dark hair caught the warm glow from the fireplace, reminding David so much of her mother, who had passed away 5 years earlier. "Good. Thing we stocked up on supplies last week," David replied, his voice carrying the gentle warmth that had seen them through countless challenges together. As a park ranger, he understood mountain weather better than most, but this storm was proving unusually fierce. A sharp knock at the door interrupted the peaceful evening. David and Sarah exchanged surprised glances. Who would be out in weather like this? David opened the heavy wooden door to find a woman standing in the swirling snow, her expensive-looking camel coat dusted white, her dark hair whipping in the wind. She appeared to be in her early 40s, with kind eyes that spoke of both determination and current desperation. "Please," she said, her voice barely audible over the howling wind. "My car went off the road about a mile back. My phone has no signal. Could I use your phone to call for help?" "Of course," David said immediately, stepping aside. "Come in, please. You must be freezing." The woman stepped into the warmth of their home, and David noticed she was shivering despite trying to hide it. "Thank you so much. I'm Catherine Wells." "David Mitchell," he replied, taking her coat and hanging it near the fire. "This is my daughter, Sarah. Let me get you something warm to drink." Sarah looked up from her homework with the natural curiosity of a teenager. "Are you okay? That must have been scary, sliding off the road in this weather." Catherine's smile was genuine as she settled into the chair David offered. "It was frightening, I'll admit. I'm not used to driving in mountain snow. I was trying to get to the valley before the storm hit, but—" She gestured toward the window where the snow continued its relentless descent. "I'm afraid you won't be going anywhere tonight," David said gently, returning with a steaming mug of hot chocolate. "The road crews won't be out until this passes, and from the looks of it, that won't be until tomorrow at the earliest." Catherine accepted the mug gratefully, wrapping her hands around its warmth. "I don't want to impose. Surely there's a hotel nearby?" Sarah laughed softly. "The nearest hotel is 40 miles down the mountain, and in this weather?" She shook her head. "Dad's right. You're stuck with us for the night." Something in Catherine's expression shifted, a flicker of vulnerability that she quickly tried to hide. David, who had learned to read people during his years as both a single father and a park ranger, recognized the look of someone who rarely found herself in situations beyond her control. "You're welcome to stay," David said simply. "We've got a spare room, and Sarah's an excellent cook." "She was just about to start dinner?" "I was?" Sarah asked with a grin, then caught her father's meaningful look. "Oh, yes, I was. Would you like to help, Catherine? I'm making my famous mountain chili." As the evening progressed, Catherine found herself drawn into the comfortable rhythm of their home. She helped Sarah prepare dinner while David tended the fire and shared stories of the mountain's history. The conversation flowed naturally, punctuated by Sarah's bright laughter and David's gentle humor. "You know," Catherine said during dinner, "I can't remember the last time I've had such a peaceful evening. No phones ringing, no meetings to attend, no decisions that can't wait until tomorrow." "What do you do for work?" Sarah asked innocently. Catherine hesitated for just a moment. I work in business. What about you? What are your plans after high school?" "I want to study environmental science," Sarah said, her eyes lighting up. "Dad's taught me so much about the forest, about conservation. I want to help protect places like this." "That's wonderful," Catherine said, and David could hear the genuine admiration in her voice. The world needs more people who care about preserving our natural spaces. Later that evening, as Sarah headed to bed, Catherine found herself alone with David by the fire. The storm still raged outside, but inside, the crackling flames created an island of warmth and tranquility. "Thank you," Catherine said quietly, "for opening your door, for welcoming a complete stranger. Not everyone would do that." David stirred the fire thoughtfully. "Sarah and I learned a long time ago that kindness doesn't cost anything, but it can mean everything to someone who needs it. Besides," he smiled, "mountain people look out for each other. It's just how things are done up here." "You've raised an incredible daughter," Catherine observed. "She's smart, kind, confident. That's not easy to do alone." "She makes it easy," David replied. "After my wife died, Sarah and I became a team. We've faced everything together, the grief, the challenges, the quiet moments like this. She's taught me as much as I've taught her." Catherine found herself sharing more than she had intended, about the pressure of her work, about the loneliness that came with success, about how she sometimes wondered if she'd lost touch with what really mattered in life. "I have everything I thought I wanted," she admitted, staring into the flames. "But sitting here tonight, I realize how empty it all feels sometimes." David nodded, understanding. "After Marie died, I had to figure out what really mattered. It wasn't the career advancement or the bigger paycheck. It was this, being present for Sarah, appreciating the small moments, finding joy in simple things." The next morning brought brilliant sunshine and the sound of snowplows in the distance. Catherine stood at the window, watching David and Sarah clear a path to where her car had been pulled from the snowbank by a local tow truck. "I suppose I should be getting back," Catherine said, though something in her voice suggested reluctance. "You're welcome any time," Sarah said warmly. "And I mean that. It was wonderful having another woman to talk with." David handed Catherine her coat, now dry and warm from hanging by the fire. "The road should be clear in an hour or so. Drive safely." Catherine paused at the door, looking back at the cozy cabin that had given her more than just shelter from the storm. "David, Sarah, thank you for everything. You've reminded me of something I'd forgotten." "What's that?" Sarah asked. "That the most valuable things in life can't be bought or sold. They're freely given, like the kindness you showed me last night." 3 weeks later, David received a letter delivered by special courier. Inside was a check that made him sit down heavily in his kitchen chair, and a note written in Catherine's careful handwriting. "David and Sarah, I hope you'll forgive the deception, but I wasn't entirely honest about who I am. I'm Catherine Wells, CEO of Mountain Valley Resort Group. I came to your area to evaluate it for a major resort development, but after spending that night with you, I've decided to withdraw our plans. Instead, I'm establishing the Sarah Mitchell Environmental Scholarship Fund, and I'm donating the land we intended to develop to the National Park Service. Some places are too precious to change, and some lessons are too valuable to ignore. Thank you for showing me what true wealth looks like. With deepest gratitude and affection, Catherine." David read the letter aloud to Sarah, who sat quietly for a long moment before speaking. "Dad," she said finally, "do you think we'll see her again?" David smiled, looking out at the snow-covered peaks that would remain untouched thanks to one night of simple kindness. "I have a feeling we will, sweetheart. I have a feeling we will. Sometimes the greatest gifts come disguised as unexpected visitors, and sometimes opening our door to a stranger means opening our hearts to a lifetime of friendship." In a world that often values wealth over kindness, Catherine had learned that the richest people are often those who have the least to give materially, but give it anyway, freely, warmly, and without expecting anything in return.